You know that one historical fun fact you drop at a dinner party when you want to look like the smartest person in the room? The one about Napoleon being a tiny tyrant or Vikings wearing horned helmets? Yeah, it's complete, unadulterated garbage. Most of what you think you know about the past isn't actually history. It's just a massive game of telephone played by people who didn't check their sources for 1,000 years. Today, we aren't just correcting the record. We're taking a high-velocity sledgehammer to 20 of the most persistent, annoying, and straight-up dumb lies ever disguised as historical truth. Grab a drink, sit down, and prepare to realize that your history teacher might have been a liar. Let's get into it. 1. The original short king was actually 5'7", making him taller than the average Frenchman of his era. This myth survived thanks to a mix-up between French and British units and a brutal British propaganda campaign. Newspapers drew him as a pint-sized toddler to make him appear less threatening. It was essentially the 19th century version of getting ratioed daily until the meme became accepted as historical fact. 2. The story of Isaac Newton getting bonked on the head by an apple is a total fairy tale. He didn't have a eureka moment because of a piece of falling fruit. Newton himself later told people he saw an apple fall from a window, which got him thinking about gravity, but there was no head trauma involved. His theory took years of brain-melting math and research, not a divine slap from a Granny Smith. 3. You've been told the Great Pyramids were built by armies of miserable slaves whipped under the sun. It's a great story for a freedom narrative, but it's false. Archaeologists found the workers' graves, and these guys were highly skilled, paid laborers. They had their own villages, received top-tier medical care, and were even paid in bread and beer. It wasn't slavery, it was the Bronze Age's most elite construction gig. 4. Say goodbye to the lady with the lamp myth. While Florence Nightingale was a hero, she didn't actually revolutionize nursing by being a gentle bedside angel. She was a ruthless, cold-hearted statistician. A real weapon wasn't a lamp, it was a pie chart. She realized more soldiers were dying from filth than bullets and used data to force the British government to fix hospital sanitation. She was a math genius, not a soft-spoken saint. 5. The Wild West wasn't actually that wild. Statistical records show that frontier towns like Dodge City or Tombstone had lower murder rates than modern-day Chicago or New York. Most outlaws were just local drunks, and bank robberies were incredibly rare. Only about 8 happened in the entire frontier era. The image of a lawless, bullet-ridden desert was mostly invented by dime novels in the East to entertain bored city dwellers. 6. Hollywood loves a bloodbath, but gladiators were essentially the LeBron James of ancient Rome. They were astronomically expensive to train and house. Killing them off every match would be a financial disaster. Instead, most fights were governed by strict rules and referees, ending in concession or first blood. Because a gladiator's death was a massive loss for the owner, survival was the norm and top-tier medical care was the standard. 7. Magellan is credited with being the first person to circumnavigate the globe, except he died halfway through. He got killed in a local skirmish in the Philippines in 1521. Only one of his 5 ships actually made it back to Spain, led by Juan Sebastian Elcano. Magellan got all the glory, but he's the only guy on the list who technically failed the mission. 8. Ben Franklin discovering electricity by flying a kite in a lightning storm is a death wish that never happened. If lightning had actually struck that kite, Franklin would have been fried like a Thanksgiving turkey. He actually conducted a much safer experiment involving a Leyden jar to prove lightning was electrical. The kite story was a simplified version he told later, but he was far too smart to act as a human lightning rod. 9. The Iron Maiden, a metal sarcophagus with spikes inside, is a staple of every medieval torture museum, but they're complete fakes. There's zero evidence that any Iron Maiden ever existed in the Middle Ages. They were actually cobbled together in the late 1700s and 1800s by people who wanted to create shocking museum exhibits to prove how barbaric the past was. They were built for profit, not for punishment.
10.
The black-clad assassin is a movie trope. If you're a secret agent in feudal Japan and you walk around in a black bodysuit, you're going to get arrested immediately because you look like a weirdo. Real ninjas or shinobi dressed like farmers, monks, or merchants. Their whole job was to blend in. The black outfit actually comes from Japanese theater, where stagehands wore black to signify they were invisible to the audience. When a character was supposed to be killed by an invisible force, a stagehand would do it. We literally took the stage crew's uniform and called it a military tactic.
11.
The British are coming, the British are coming. It's the ultimate American hero story. One man on a horse, saving the revolution. In reality, Revere was just one of dozens of riders. He didn't even finish the ride. He got captured by the British. A man named Samuel Prescott was actually the one who made it all the way to Concord. Also, he definitely didn't yell, "The British are coming," because everyone there was British at the time. He likely whispered, "The regulars are out." Much less cinematic, I know.
12.
The story of young George Washington chopping down a cherry tree and declaring, "I cannot tell a lie," is pure fiction. It was invented by biographer Mason Locke Weems to add flavor and sell more books after Washington's death. Weems wanted to portray him as a saintly figure, but the reality is more grounded. While Washington was a great leader, he was also a politician who definitely knew how to lie.
13.
The movie 300 makes it look like it was just King Leonidas and his 300 bros against 1,000,000 Persians. It's a great story for a gym montage, but the math is way off. There were actually about 7,000 other Greeks fighting alongside the Spartans at Thermopylae. Even on the final day, when most of the army retreated, about 1,000 to 2,000 soldiers stayed behind to fight to the death with the Spartans. Those other guys just had a terrible PR team compared to the Spartans.
14.
The Dark Ages weren't actually dark. The idea that science and art died for 500 years is a myth created by later Renaissance scholars to make themselves look better. During this time, the Islamic world was having a scientific revolution. Universities were being founded across Europe, and complex legal systems were being built. It wasn't a void of ignorance, it was a period of massive architectural and intellectual transition that paved the way for modern society.
15.
Pirates were violent, greedy, and efficient. Walking the plank is a theatrical, slow, and stupid way to kill someone. There's almost no historical record of pirates actually doing this. If a pirate wanted you dead, he'd just stab you and throw your body overboard, or maroon you on a deserted island to starve. Walking the plank was popularized by fiction writers like Robert Louis Stevenson because it created more suspense for the reader.
16.
The high noon duel in the middle of the street is pure Hollywood. In the real Old West, gunfights were rare, messy, and usually involved two drunk guys fumbling with their revolvers until someone accidentally got shot in the foot. Most frontier towns actually had incredibly strict gun control laws. You had to turn your weapons into the sheriff the moment you entered town. The quick draw duel was invented by dime novels and Western movies to make the West look like a nightly tournament and less like a dusty, boring ranching frontier.
17.
She's the most famous queen of Egypt, but Cleopatra wasn't Egyptian at all. She was 100% Macedonian Greek. She was a descendant of Ptolemy I, one of Alexander the Great's generals. Her family ruled Egypt for 300 years, but they spoke Greek, dressed Greek, and followed Greek customs. Cleopatra was actually the only one in her entire dynasty that even bothered to learn the Egyptian language. She was a brilliant PR strategist who knew how to look like a local to keep her power.
18.
It's the ultimate humanity is amazing fact, except it's physically impossible. The Great Wall is made of stone and earth that is the exact same color as the surrounding terrain. It's also only about 20 to 30 feet wide. Seeing the Great Wall from the moon is like trying to see a single human hair from 2 miles away. Not even astronauts in low Earth orbit can see it with the naked eye unless the lighting conditions are absolutely perfect and they know exactly where to look. 19. We love the idea of quirky Ben Franklin fighting for the turkey over the cowardly bald eagle, but he never made an official proposal. He only wrote about it in a private letter to his daughter, where he poked fun at the eagle's bad moral character. It was a joke in a private email that got turned into a fact by people who wanted to make Franklin look like the original American eccentric.
20. Walt Disney being cryogenically frozen is a total urban legend. People love the idea of Uncle Walt waiting in a freezer under Disneyland to be revived in the future. The truth? He was cremated 2 days after he died in 1966. His family even has the legal papers to prove it. The myth started because he was obsessed with futuristic technology, but his remains are currently at Forest Lawn Memorial Park, not in a popsicle tray. That's 20 reasons why history is often just a game of telephone. Which of these lies did you actually believe? Admit your shame in the comments. Smash that like button to keep the truth alive and subscribe so you never get fooled again. Thanks for watching. I'm out.